Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. It's April 29th. Out on Lake Conway, we're going to do a quick little video on fishing cypress trees. We're going to primarily focus on throwing a creature bait and a wacky rig. So water's come up quite a bit here on Conway. Fish should be holding close to these trees. Get out there and see what happens. Started shallow here with a cypress tree that was close to the ramp. Some of those shallow cypress trees can hold some big fish too. Missed here. I'm gonna reload, see if I can't get it to go after something different. Not a big fish here, but hey, you're 20 yards from the ramp. Not a bad way to start the evening. All right, little guy here. Missed him on a creature bait. Threw the wacky rig in there and caught him. You'll see here when I cast, I skipped that bait all the way up to the base of that tree. I want to hit the base of that tree. I think it triggers those fish to look up. It triggers them to come up to the base of the tree if they're hanging out around the edge. And it's just a little tip that I thought I'd throw in here. Got him. All right. Drug that thing right off that tree. Caught one. Not very big, but still a fish. I mean, I had to drag it off there quite a ways before I got it to bite. See if we can't get another one. Coming into a group of cypress, I'll look for one that looks a little bit different or comes to a point, makes an edge. That's what I did here. I found the one on the outside edge where it's kind of a point, a little bit of wind blowing through there on the opposite side. I skipped up right up to the base of that thing and ended up catching a better fish finally. All right, a little better fish there. Got that off the cypress right here. Just flipped it in there and swam it off and the fish grabbed it. Not a bad one right there. Definitely fish right here. This particular cypress tree sets up perfect. There's an old ditch that runs beside it. When you find things like that are just a little bit different, got just enough wind blowing by it, you just know you're going to find it. Right there on the tree. Light line, wacky rig. Come on. Stay on. Stay on. Oh my God, there it is. Yeah, buddy. Knew that fish was there. That's what I'm talking about. A little wacky rig action. Bada boom, bada bing. Light line, little wacky rig. Just barely hooked. I mean, look at that. There's a nice thick girl right there from Lake Conway producing. That's what I'm talking about. As I'm missing this fish the first time, let's talk about kayak positioning or boat positioning. When I come into a wind-blown tree, I like to come in to the wind. And that just helps me keep the front of the kayak facing. It helps better with boat control, and a lot of times I'll find those feeding fish on the opposite side of that wind if they're being a little bit lazy. Now when they're more aggressive, they'll be on that front side, on that windy side a lot of times. There he is. How big it is. Could be a decent fish. Oh, sure. Not bad. Another good one. There we go. Well, I think we could have won a tournament out here today. What do y'all think? Another thick one on the wacky rig, baby.
You'll see me choose multiple baits at certain trees and I feel it just real juicy or should be holding the fish. Here I start with the creature bait, end up going back to the wacky rig, but just something to keep in mind. Just because you throw one bait up there, if you really feel like there should be a fish there, you know, may pick something up and try something different before you run off. Something else worth noting with Cypress Trees is they have this canopy root system that's kind of like an umbrella underneath them. And sometimes those fish will be sitting up on that, or when you pull it off, they'll be sitting on the edge of that. So that's just, try to visualize that in your head as you're fishing these trees, that there's a big root system that's kind of like an umbrella, and your baits will actually slide down that, and you can pull them off that and get a lot of bites in them.
There we go. Come on, baby. How big it is, because it's coming right at me. Uh-oh. I think that's a bigger fish than what I was expecting. Bigger fish than what I thought. I think. Let's see. Tire it out. Oh my God, that's a big one. Fishing light line, little hooks. God, this is always so nerve-wracking. Come on, don't pull off. Don't pull off. Don't pull off. It's under something. Come to me. Oh my God, it's all the kayak. This is a good fish. I wish I had a scale. It's on the kayak. Look at the kayak. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Tire out. Tire out. Tire out. Tire out. Don't you jump. She's gonna jump. She's gonna jump. Oh, come on. Oh my God. Must be hooked pretty good. Oh my God. I'll pet her in the net. There we go. Heck yeah, baby. That's a good 5-pounder at least. Well, maybe 4. It's a thick, juicy one on the wacky rig. I threw the creature bait up there, never got a bite, but it just looked like a spot a fish should be sitting, so I didn't give up on it. Threw the wacky rig a few times. Woo! That was fun. Little bitty hook, did the job. Pick those up at H4 Outdoors. Just ask James what I use. He'll hook you up. God, it's a fat one.
I'm targeting another shallow cypress tree here. After a miss, I'll go back in and get this fish. You'll hear me mention that it has a bloody tail. One thing about lakes with cypress trees, it really doesn't matter how deep that tree is because of the root system. It has that umbrella system that I was talking about, and even if a tree's in 6 foot of water, that root system, parts of it may be only 2 foot of water, and since it's a hard bottom, you'll find fish spawning on those even out in the middle of the lake at times. So just keep that in mind if you're ever fishing around the spawn and you're on a cypress tree lake.
Oh, it is a fish. Hey. Not too big. Not too bad though either. Finally lost that wacky rig, but there's another one. Up there spawning, it looks like. Tail's all bloody.
This is that same tree I just missed a fish, but this is a good shot where you can see it's a group of trees, but you see how that one's sticking out just a little bit further? There's actually a little bit of wind coming through there as well. So let's see what happens. This fish grabbed the bait the second time, but this time it ran around the opposite side of the tree, so it makes it a little bit difficult. I'm going to reposition and see if I can get one more chance at it. As we're wrapping things up, let's talk about my setup. On that creature bait, I actually have a 7-foot heavy Ducket Kelly Jordan Pro Series rod that I love to death for kayak fishing. I got that with 17-pound line. I got a 1/4 ounce piece of tungsten pegged with a flipping hook, and that's a Missile Baits creature bait that's on that. And then for the wacky rig that's in my hand here, I have the Green Ghost Series medium heavy spinning rod in my hand. I got that paired with 8-pound line and a weighted wacky rig hook. Y'all, I get all this stuff at H24 Outdoors in downtown Conway. James knows I don't mind sharing information. So if you just walk in and say, hey, what does Garrett buy for his wacky rigs? What does Garrett buy for his flipping setup? He will put it in your hand. He'll hook you up. Go see my man downtown Conway, Arkansas.
Hook came out into that. Another decent fish right there. Good solid fish. Put it back. Go find some more. All right, pretty good day out here. Came out to actually fish completely different, but flipped on a few trees here and there. Decided we're just gonna flip trees today. Caught a couple fish on a creature bait. Felt like they were actually feeding beside the trees more, like they had bait up there. So I put on the wacky rig after catching a few and just stuck with that. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Tune in next time, see where we go, see what we do.